Wait, the title is just clickbait. Hear me out. It's actually the opposite.
What?
Men who are not virgins don't disgust me per se. They just aren't for me.
I'm in love, it's a beautiful day. I'm in love, it's a beautiful way. I don't care what the weatherman say. It's a beautiful day.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Cassidy-Anime, a hobbyist, manga anime artist and novelist, and I'm coming at you with some of my strange opinions. So just yesterday I came across a new webtoon, one set in Arabia that features dark-skinned people, and as someone who's against colorism and wants more representation for people of darker skin tones, this webcomic titled The Wrath and the Dawn really intrigued me. For 5 minutes. The dark-skinned characters and the presence of Arabs of all skin tones and features, from black-looking Arabs to white ones, is a very accurate and unracist depiction. Then something happened that I've seen before in at least 3 other webtoons and 2 other famous stories. The lead girl, who's a virgin, gives her virginity to a bad boy dangerous slut who lost his virginity 15 bodies ago. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but before I show you guys these webtoons and go in depth with them, let me tell you my personal opinions and why I feel this way. I'm 21 and I'm still a virgin. Now this doesn't bother me in the slightest because I'm still very young. I have my whole life ahead of me still, and I'm very proud of myself for listening to the women in my family and saving my virginity for marriage. I'm a Christian and waiting till marriage is important to me, but I have a hidden opinion that I told my mum about and she thinks it's stupid, but this is how I feel. I refuse to lose my virginity to a non-virgin. I will only give my virginity to another virgin. Why? Because I refuse to give my first time to another woman's leftovers.
Damn!
Sounds cruel, but this is how I feel. Some very handsome men to me are Tom Welling, Ian Somerhalder, Chris Evans and Paul Walker. Now, if I personally knew these men and they weren't celebrities, but I also found out they weren't virgins, I would personally be turned off by that. A handsome man who's a 10 to me like these guys would instantly become like a 2. But if a man is ugly and I learn he's still a virgin, he actually becomes more appealing in my eyes. If John C. Reilly was a virgin, honestly, I'd think about marrying him. I have a right to demand from others what I already have myself. A person who doesn't have kids has a right to demand a person who also doesn't have kids. A person who's in shape has a right to demand someone who's also in shape. A person who's of a particular race has a right to demand someone else of the same race, etc, etc. This is my personal opinion. But if a man or woman, but I'm straight so, a man who is not a virgin or even has kids with his past partners demands that the next woman he gets with be a virgin, he can himself and his mum. The sex network. A big reason why I feel it's important to me to do it with another virgin is the sex network. Allow me to demonstrate. The white dots are people and the connecting lines are the people each person has had sex with. No, each of these dots has not laid down with every other dot. If you lose your virginity to someone who's had sex with 7 other people, then theoretically, you yourself have had sex with those 7 other people also. We are forever connected to the people we sleep with. Mummy Dearest and high school first taught me about the sex network. Mummy Dearest even showed me a calculator on a website some years ago, which estimates how many people you've actually had sex with through the sex network by whatever body count you enter into the calculator. I randomly entered 9 just to see what the results would be, and guess what? If you've had sex with 9 people, then through the sex network, you have had sex with 3 million people. Scary, right? So Lamar Odom has had sex with 2,000 women. So through the sex network, he's had... How many people in the world are there? There's over 7 billion people in the world today, and there's 1,000 million in a billion. There's 1,000 thousands in a million. So, oh, you know what? I don't know. But what I'm sure of is that it's disgusting. Now, these 2 dots represent me and my husband, who I want most of all to be a virgin. if two virgins get together and only have sex with each other, then as you can see, they're not connected to the sex network at all. It's just them by themselves, the two of them together only. So, Webtoons and Tappytoon. The stories on Tappytoon that I really like at the moment are The Abandoned Empress, Who Made Me a Princess, and Detective of Muriela. These stories are nothing like the stories I've dropped, nor do they have open depictions of sex in them, just passing mentions. So back to The Wrath and the Dawn. The three other webtoons that follow similar stories is Sword of the Falcon, Light and Shadow, and finally Lucia. Alright, so I've recorded this all before, but the audio and the video didn't match up, so I'm doing it all again. So the four comics I was talking about: Wrath of the Dawn, Sword of the Falcon, Light and Shadow, and Lucia. I'm going to show you guys the circumstances where these virgin girls give their virginities to these man whores. I dropped this one after 5 minutes because I can see where it's going. It's set in a very fictional, Arabic country, but you can tell it's Arabia, alright. And I also like that the characters are dark skinned and it has accurate depictions. Look at the rain, I love that. Okay, so basically this king, this guy here, he's cursed. Every morning he has to kill his wives or some sort of calamity is going to happen. Now our main character, this woman, Shahzad, basically she's offered herself up as a bride, even though she knows she's going to be killed by the next dawn, because her goal is to kill the king. I think Shahzad is a virgin because this is set in Arabia where they're very religious, they're very conservative. This man here, basically, he's her love, so she might not be a virgin. She could have lost it to him, but as I said, Arabs are very religious. Premarital sex is heavily frowned upon, and she's not married to this man, so I doubt they had done anything. I really do think Shahzad is a virgin. If she isn't, and she just gave it to this king, then I don't mind. But it's clear that the king isn't a virgin, because look at his wives that he all had to put to death by the next morning. And there's Shahzad at the bottom. It's a very sad image. Whoever this artist is, they're amazing, okay? I love that. Different skin tones, different undertones, different shades, different features of all of these Arabic women. And there's even a black woman here, look, a black Arab woman. Dark skin, African features, and cane woes. I absolutely love that. Okay, so this man is the man who's in love with Shahzad, who's her love. She could have done it with him, but I doubt it. Okay, so let's go to chapter 4. And I think Shahzad is a virgin, but she's just ready. But either way, I can tell where the story's going. This man is forced to put his wives to death each morning because of a curse, and she's going to be the one to change him. Okay, here's what pisses me off. She just met this man. Yes, they're married now, but I love the effect of the dress dropping to the floor, look. Look at that. It's lovely. It was as if I floated out of my body. Okay, she has sex with him. You see that? Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I know he's a king, but come on. Couldn't you have said no? I mean, she did take off her dress. I think she was trying to seduce him so, she could kill him during the sex, I guess, like in Snow White and the Huntsman. I took my only pleasure in subtle awareness. Destroying this monster would not come without sacrifice. Sacrifice? So, yeah, she probably is a virgin. She just sacrificed her virginity to this man who beds all of these wives, has them put to death the next morning. It's clear that he sleeps with them all, because why wouldn't he? And she just gave her virginity to him. I mean, I know he's a king, but I wish she would have said no, so I can't read this. Right, next up we've got Sword of the Falcon, which is also set in an Arabic setting. I don't want to call it colourish just because there's more pale skin characters, but here is our main girl, and look how pale she is, look how white her skin is, and the main guy has brown skin, just like in The Wrath and the Dawn. Both of these stories have Arabic settings, which I find very interesting. Here is the main guy, here is the main girl, but all of the characters in this story are more white looking, more Eurocentric looking. Yeah, but anyway, our main girl is strong, but it's clear she's a virgin. Just the way it's alluded throughout the story. I've read the first few chapters properly, but then I skimmed the rest. Okay, here's how I know he isn't a virgin. He's standing next to the bed, disappointed, half dressed. He turns around and look who's in his bed. A woman, naked. Muratani, at your service, Raja. You may send her out. Raja, have I done something to displease you? If you will, let me know. I said send her out now. Yes, as you wish, Your Highness. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, so the women he sleeps with, he gives them money so they won't come back. He's not a virgin. He's sleeping with these women and giving them money and telling them to piss off. And then our main girl, she is the one to change him. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, chapter 18. Chapter 18, she gives her virginity to him. I know, because I skimmed this. I haven't read it properly though. Yeah, beautiful artwork, but here, he slept with all of these other women. She slept with no one else, and she's given her virginity to this man who isn't even married to her, by the way. And yeah, she's the one who's different, the one who changes him. So as you guys can see, it's the same formula. But yeah, I just had to drop this because it disgusted me. And what disgusts me even more is that both of these women had a choice. In the Wrath and the Dawn, Shahrazad volunteered to marry him so she could kill him. So I guess she chose to lose her virginity to a man who lost it. And then this girl does have a choice, but she pursued a relationship with him. So now in this one, these last two, Light and Shadow and Lucia, we're going to look at girls who did have a choice but didn't. Okay, in Light and Shadow, this girl, the main character, whose name is Edna, she has absolutely no choice, you guys. So we're going to look at Lucia next, and she does have a choice. And I'm going to show you why. So let me first tell you what it's about. Lucia grew up not knowing she was a princess, but when her mum died, she entered the palace and had the chance to see her entire future in a dream. So basically, when she goes to sleep, she can dream of the future. And when she reaches the age of 19, because she's the 16th princess in line, her right as a royal is kind of useless. She is married off at 19 to a very abusive man, and Lucia is a virgin. We know this because she's never been with anyone else. She even tells us this. And to change her future, she's entering this marriage contract, this guy here, so she can be safe from being married off, because this guy's really powerful. He's a duke. He's also a war hero, so he can kill people. She's marrying him just so she can be his wife on the outside, so she's safe from being married off, because you can't marry off a woman who's already married, especially a woman who is the wife of a very powerful man like this. Okay, anyway, we all know she's a virgin, but we know he is not, because look, I know Your Highness has a son. So he's a single dad. It's a marriage contract, you guys. She can write down her own terms, her own agreements, and he even says this. So she can agree not to sleep with him. She doesn't have to. Just because you're married to someone doesn't mean you have to give him sex, necessarily. But she does. And personally, I think she's an idiot. Here it is. She gets very hot from drinking alcohol and ends up a little bit drunk. And she takes off her clothes. And it turns out she's in his room, look. But anyway, all she needs to do was get her clothes back on and leave. But 2 chapters later, she sleeps with him. I can't believe it. This guy isn't a virgin. He has a son. So he didn't just have sex with another woman. He got another woman pregnant, okay? And she's about to give her one and only virginity to him. And yeah, he's hot. He is hot, but still, why? I know it's your wedding night. I know you just got married, but it's a wedding contract. You don't have to sleep with him. So yeah, Lucia annoys me because of this. I guess she just doesn't care. I love that in all of these sex scenes, the man is on top of the woman. That's like my favourite position. It's like the hottest thing ever when the man is on top. I love it. Okay, don't sleep with him, you idiot. But she does. Ah! Thrust. Ah! It hurts. Of course it hurts. You're a virgin. In the previous chapter, we see the guy, she says something about the guy who she ended up marrying, being married off to before she entered this marriage contract to save herself. He was abusive, but he couldn't sleep with her. If I was her, I would jump out of that bed and just get my clothes back on and run out the room. And I would have written in my contract to him, I'm not sleeping with you, I'm not having sex with you, you've got a son, this marriage is only for a short while, look, you can, she even said that to him, you can fool around with whatever other woman you like. She gave him the option to cheat on her if he wanted. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. In my dreams, the wedding night was a horrible experience. Count Metten was too old and fat and couldn't even get the job done. he took his frustration out on me with violence. So she's still a virgin, married to this abusive fuck who didn't give her any money, but she kept her virginity because he couldn't sleep with her. So if it was me, I think I would have just entered that abusive marriage, because it doesn't even last. It lasts for like 2 years. Then afterwards she gets out of it and lives a life. Okay, last but not least, we've got light and shadow, and this is the one I have a most problem with but least problem with at the same time, because it wasn't fully Edna's fault, but she could help what happened afterwards. Well, I'll actually go to chapter 3 because that's where it all begins, so I'll just explain it to you as best as I can, even though I'm not very good at explaining things. Okay, here we go. Light and shadow. To give you some context, she's a maid, and she was basically sent against her will in the place of another woman who didn't want to come. Okay, glance, cringe. Are you going to just stand there? I should say that to you. What do I do? How long will you stay there? My apologies, I'm a mere commoner who has no manners. I don't plan on leaving here quietly, so just give up and take off your clothes. What should I do? You said the wedding is tomorrow. Of course I expected this. Can't you just wait one more day? As a wife I must do what is necessary. But this is too sudden. Whatever your roots, you are a duke now. I would like to at least have my wedding first. Have some courtesy. Ha, that's rather amusing. What does it matter if we start today or tomorrow? No. Quit being stubborn. No. And undress. No, please. When I first saw you in the palace, I thought you were quite a beauty. What? When I first saw you in the palace, that means... I wonder if your body is as beautiful as well. That means Eli, that's who this prick's, that's that prick's name, knows Anna's face. What should I do? If he finds out, this guy here, this prick, his name is Eli, he's tall, he's handsome, and just like the guy in Lucia who I just showed you, he is a duke. He's murderous on the battlefield, so he's murdered and cut down men, women and children in war. He's very merciless like that. Right. Okay. I am not Anna. This guy. What? Yank. This is what I saw in the trailer. It did intrigue me. So it's true. You really aren't Anna. Then who are you? I am Edna, a bastard maid of Viscount William. He didn't wish to trick you, but Edna is gravely ill, so I had to come instead. Just to spoil it, you guys, it's in the very first chapter. She's Anna, this bitch. Anna doesn't want to marry him because he's a commoner, and she's heard the rumours about him. So what her and her father did was they sent her a maid. I'm not going to spoil the story heavily, but she had no choice. These guys are nobles. She's a low bastard maid. She had no choice. Didn't want to trick me after dressing you in the wedding gown and veil? Nonsense. Well, I will admit your sacrifice is duly noted. However, that was an unfortunate choice, Edna. Let go of her, you cunt. You must have heard the rumours about me. Didn't they scare you? They mean nothing to me, as I had no other choice. Well, she's calmer than me, but that's because she's been through some very traumatic shit. If you guys read the comic, you will see what she's been through, and this woman, she's quite calm even in that situation. So she expected this. That's the resilient thing about us humans. We no matter what we go through, no matter how bad it is, we eventually get used to it. It becomes just normal to us. Okay, here is what pisses me off, and here is what makes me hate this fucking cunt. You, are you a virgin? None of your damn business. Are you a virgin? A noble wife for a commoner like me, that makes no sense. A pitiable bastard like you suits me better, and I do like your face as much as Anna's. Okay, if I'm a virgin, will you accept me? Accept you as my wife or as a woman in my bed? Both. Here's the thing, you guys. This comic is based off of a novel of the same name, and in the novel he's much worse. I read a little snippet of it, and in the novel he tells her that if she's not a virgin, she will not live to see the light of day the next morning. So basically, if she isn't a virgin, he was going to kill her. But is he a virgin? It appears that he is, but I doubt he is. I'll show you why. I wish to live as long as possible. Nothing is more terrifying to me than death in this world, so answer me. If I'm a virgin, will you accept me or kill me? That time. I don't like it, but still. Yeah, it's more fun than listening to a death wish. Right, I will survive, I must. And then you see her clothes ripped off of her at the bottom there. Do you guys have any idea what he did to her? As I was saying, he is far too toxic and monstrous, but yet these sorts of men are being, okay, yeah, he has nice muscles, but still. I like guys with muscles, but fuck him. Seriously, fuck him. Alright. That woman, I didn't think she was really a virgin. I assumed she was lying. I went with my assumption and ended up being too rough. Is she still in her room? Well, she'll come out after she's calmed down. Okay, he's not a virgin, for goodness sake, because if he was... Do you guys have any idea what he did to her? In the previous chapter, he RAPE'd her. And you see a snippet of it here. So this guy is an RAPIST. And that is what makes me think he's not a virgin, because can a virgin man RAPE a woman? I don't know if they can. Don't you need a bit of experience first? Okay, Gallop. That was a surprise. I didn't expect him to help me up at all. And to think he'd even joke with me. I didn't expect that at all. To think he had that side to him. A gentle side to him as well. Look. What we saw from the first chapter. He forces her on the bed, gets on top of her, and then she's crying. And then later on, he apologises for it, and they have a son, and they live happily ever after. But I can't be mad at... Well, I am mad at her for not leaving him. I'm mad at her because even though he does change, she shouldn't have gave him the chance. She shouldn't have forgiven him, if you ask me. When he apologised, she shouldn't have said, it's all right. She should have divorced his ass and moved on. I mean, I understand why she doesn't, looking at the manga, but if it was me, I would have. I honestly would have, because I'm not that type of woman that would change a man, but it also annoys me that she lost her virginity to RAPE, and the comic doesn't show the trauma properly. But similar to 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight, they all follow a similar formula. Virgin girl who's different manages to be the one for guy who's handsome, rich, dangerous and promiscuous. I get that these are fantasies aimed at women, and I too do enjoy some aspects of these fantasies, but the fact that the man isn't a virgin his damn self completely ruins it for me. I get why these women would fantasize about getting with these promiscuous men and taming them, making them loyal to only them, because he's tried so many flavours of women and she is his one and only favourite flavour. He likes me the most and I am better than these other women he's tried. I just don't agree with it though, but clearly I stand somewhat alone in this opinion. Apparently other women who are virgins don't care if the guy who takes their virginity is a virgin or not. Some women want to lose their virginity to a guy who isn't a virgin on purpose because they want someone who's experienced. I personally don't get this because I want us both to be inexperienced so we can learn and grow together. Hopefully I see a Webtoon or Tappytoon in the future which fills my specific tastes. So far I have Midnight Poppyland, which is about an innocent girl and she gets swept up with a man who's in the mafia. And I like this one because they're both virgins. It's obvious that Poppyland is a virgin because they reveal it. Oh, you have a guess. Is that your high school sweetheart? The one that kept saying she wasn't ready. And Tora, the guy who would become her love interest, he is a virgin. I believe he is. I mean, there's no evidence to suggest that he is, but there's also no evidence to suggest that he isn't. I believe he is though because it makes no sense for him to not be a virgin, given his life, his background, his personality, the way he acts towards women, how he gives women fake numbers, and the way that Poppy is admittedly the first girl he likes. Just because a guy is a bad boy doesn't mean necessarily they're promiscuous. I mean, you can be a virgin and be a bad person. Another reason why I like Midnight Poppyland is because I like the fact that she's got a curvier physique. I like that she's not skinny because I'm curvy. So this just appeals to me in that they're a virgin couple discovering who they are, and I like how different they are, how innocent she is, how bad boy he is, and as I said, she isn't the one to change him, you guys. It's not that typical story that I spoke about where the girl comes along and she changes the bad boy. She doesn't change anything, he's still him. She just comes into his life and he happens to like her, that's all. It's just very normal, typical, she doesn't change him. The turn off is that Tora smokes and he has tattoos, but he's a virgin! So I'll let it slide, and he isn't a toxic person. He just has toxic affiliations is all. So everyone, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you didn't get offended, and please don't thumbs down this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a comment sharing what your opinion is on this particular topic. See you in the next one.